Hello, and welcome to the Lorcana Muses Podcast. We're happy to be back.
Yay!
Sorry for our delay. Life happens, but we were having a great time traveling to Dallas-Fort Worth for the Lorcana Challenge, and, just life gets in the way sometimes.
Absolutely. Kids go back to school, kids get sick, parents get sick. It's what happens.
Teachers go back to school.
Teachers go back to school and probably will eventually get sick.
Absolutely. So just keep in mind, we will do our best to keep to our regularly scheduled programming, but we will keep you informed if our timeline kind of gets off kilter. So I went to the Fort Worth Challenge with my husband, and we had the best time. We didn't necessarily get to day 2 when it came to the challenge, when it came to, the competitive side of things, but we both did relatively well, and we had a great time. My goal was to get in the top 50%, and I was able to do that. So that was my ultimate goal for the event, was to just be better than half of everybody. So I ended up doing that. My husband got into like the top 15%, which is still really good, but not good enough for day 2. So when we ended up not placing, we spent all of Sunday playing side events and just having fun chasing for those tickets to get those prize wall things. And we had the best time. I will say some of those side events were so much more fun than playing the competitive side on Saturday. And I had a great time on Saturday, but it was a very, very long day.
Yeah.
9 rounds. And there was so much time in between rounds as we were waiting for teams, like players to be done with their games. And then we were waiting on, the recording side of things. And there was just a lot of delays in between each set, which made the event go much longer than expected. We basically started playing at 10 a.m. and we're not finished with the actual gameplay until 9:30 at night.
Yikes.
So it was just a very long day. Had a great time. Had lots of great competitors that I played against. I saw a great variety of decks that I played against. I know not everyone was lucky enough for that, but I was. And as someone who plays an off-meta deck, it was really great to see other off-meta decks that I played, along with playing a few meta decks. But it was definitely a really enjoyable experience. I liked playing Pack Rush on Sunday, which is the 2-pack mini game format. That was really fun. But I just played against my husband every time, so we made it kind of like a little mini competition every time we played with him. And then we ended up getting to keep all of the tickets from the game because it was both of us. We combined our tickets and we were able to get some really cool prize wall things. So I have a whole play set of those promo Rapunzels now.
Those are so gorgeous.
They are gorgeous. And my husband has the prized mat. Not the winning prize mat, but he has the Cinderella foil mat. So
that's so cool.
It's really cool. It's fun to play with. But we had a really great time. We met a lot of people that actually recognized us from our podcast. We met a lot of new people, some content creators, and saw so many varieties of people playing. It was really fun. I had a great time. People were all complaining about how hot Texas was, and I thought that was laughable because it felt gorgeous. It was in the 70s all weekend, and it was just kind of rainy. And compared to the 115 degrees that we had left at home, I thought it was so funny that people were complaining about the heat. I was actually freezing the whole time we were playing because it was so cold inside the venue. Even with my jacket, because I was prepared, as we talked about being prepared for those things in our previous episode. But even with my jacket, I was an icicle every day. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I was so cold inside. I went outside to heat up, and even though it wasn't that warm outside, it was warm enough to defrost me even just a little bit.
Yeah, cool. What is the Pack Rush? I keep hearing people talk about the Pack Rush, and spoiler alert, we're both going to Vegas come in September. We're both really excited. Our husbands are coming with us, so you'll see Alex and Daryl along with the Lorcana Muses, our little eye candy or man candy, if you will. No, we're really excited because Alex, myself, and Brittany, as of now, are all attendees. So we're really excited to play the side events and earn tickets and take some time to meet a lot of you guys. And then Daryl's obviously going to be a competitor to try to go a little further than he did at not Chicago, Fort Worth. And anyways, I've had a lot of people say how fun the Pack Rush is. So what is it? How do you play?
So Pack Rush is basically you and your opponent both get 2 packs that are sealed of Lorcana. And the rules have changed a little bit here and there, but depending on who your judge is that gives you the packs, we'll say the art cards, both art cards end up as your first ink for first inks.
Oh, okay.
And then from there, everything is inkable.
Okay.
And then you play the game from there. So basically, it's like you're playing the game from turn 3 on, because you'll be able to ink your first turn and play. So you'll have 3 ink to start with. Because you'll have 5 cards in hand.
Right.
You start with a smaller hand, so you have 5 cards in hand. You still draw like normal, and then you play the game. So the first person doesn't draw, and the second person does draw, just like a normal game of Lorcana. And then you just play the game. But I will say that Pack Rush is very interesting because it's kind of like a sealed game.
Yeah.
But it's only with 2 packs. So sometimes what you have is just going to end up being just ink, and some of it just doesn't really work against the other person. So what is in the packs is completely going to change who's winning.
Yeah.
Like I will say, like some of our Pack Rush games were very one-sided, just based on having packs that had really great cards and packs that just were not that great.
Right.
And then like having any sort of synergy is hilarious. So you don't necessarily have one. So it's basically a rush to lore, and you're trying to get a 15
Okay.
to 20.
That was my next question.
And so it's just a rush to get there as fast as you can.
Do you find you've run out of your deck? So you only have 14 cards in hand.
Once you run out of your deck, like you reshuffle your discard.
Oh, okay.
Again.
So cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a little quick game.
Just one round.
Yeah, whoever gets to 15. So yeah, it's just really quick.
Okay.
And whoever gets there.
Or one game, I guess.
Yeah, one game. So I really enjoyed it. I think it would be fun to do kind of side event even locally.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely a fun side event. It's not very many tickets, but you also get packs with it. So I think that was fun. And it doesn't take very long. So it's a good in-between type of event.
Yeah.
And I think that was definitely something that I was interested in trying because I'd heard about it from the previous people that would go into the previous DLCs, and that word just went out of me. I was like, I was just there. But I would say that I had a good time. Now, I enjoyed playing the draft or the sealed event as well on Sunday. I did not enjoy playing Constructed on Sunday because I had played so much Constructed on Saturday that it was laughable to try to play Constructed on Sunday after being so exhausted from playing Constructed.
Yeah, I can see that.
And so it was folly on my part to try to do that. But I had a great time. I think that it was a good experience. Do I think there could be improvements? Absolutely. I mean, it's their first major event run, and so I think they're taking all the feedback from players, judges, and event coordinating people to see how to improve. I will say it didn't quite feel like a Disney event.
Okay.
It did feel more like just a game event, and not even...
That's interesting, because even the pictures like on social media, everybody was dressed up and wearing ears.
Yeah, and I will say like those parts of the people that went definitely felt like Disney.
Okay.
But the event itself, like the way it was run and the availability of amenities and product and things like that didn't quite feel Disney.
Okay.
So I do see that as the separate side, because it is a Disney branded game, but not necessarily made specifically by Disney. So it definitely doesn't have the same feel when it comes to the event.
Gotcha. Interesting. Well, that's really cool, though. I'm really excited. I'm very, very, very excited to go to Vegas. I love draft and sealed events, just because I think you play with cards that you would normally never look at more than once. Mm-hmm. You get stuck in your colors, or you get stuck in how you like to play the game. And then these events kind of force you to get out of that. And they're like, oh, wait, this works with this card. And this is how I could possibly even incorporate it into my own deck or make a new deck. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, I wish I had practiced draft a little bit more before going, because I do feel like it's definitely my weakest format when it comes to gameplay, because I do get very set in like the run of my cards. How do they work together?
Yeah.
What happens in each scenario? And I don't think that being prepared for those things is a bad thing, because it makes you a better competitive player. But just like with competitive, I need to practice more if wanting to improve in those elements.
Right.
So I will definitely be trying with set 5 to, which I'm super, super excited about. Definitely doing some of those draft and sealed events in our locals as we lead into getting closer to the Vegas event, so that I'm more prepared for those side events as we are going to be attendees.
Yeah, speaking of set 5, that's only a week away now as we're recording, and that I'm so excited. That we're fully revealed as of now, including the Enchanteds. And can we talk about the Enchanted art for a minute? Because
I am
so happy. Set 4 was. It wasn't it was a letdown. Let's just call it what it is. I really like the Ariel card, but I think I was also just blinded that, Ariel, my favorite princess, is an enchanted card. But overall, on a whole, I really liked set 1 and 2. I wasn't super impressed with 3, and then 4 was an even bigger letdown. And then these set 5 cards look gorgeous.
I am so excited. I love a good theme.
Yeah.
So the fact that so many of these cards match the specific theme of, this carnival type atmosphere. Love it. So
I love all the villains behind the rope. I'm like waiting again. It's so great. Like, let my girl
villains.
I know, but let my girl Mother Gothel and the Queen in. They are too fabulous not to join.
Oh, and speaking of Mother Gothel,
right,
card where she is in that flowered dress. I love it so much. I wish
she was enchanted.
I
know, that would have been a great one.
I'm now just gonna seek out a foil version of it, because
it's beautiful.
Think I'm going to play that card, but it is gorgeous.
It's so beautiful.
And the deck box that our friend Mark made us, it has a display.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I want to display her. She is,
I know,
display worthy.
I can actually put a display worthy Lorcana card in my deck box, because right now there is not one.
There is not one. I'm currently looking at it. It has a One Piece card in it.
Don't shoot the messenger. I love my One Piece or messenger. Don't shoot me for loving One Piece.
Oh my goodness.
He's beautiful. They're pretty cards. I love them.
Lorcana Podcast.
I can love more than one thing. But no, there's so many cards to get into. I am overall pleased with the cards that they did choose to be enchanted. I know there are a few kind of I don't know if I was necessarily would have thought of that one. But Mufasa looks amazing. Snow White looks beautiful, and I never thought I would want a Snow White as a chase card.
Right?
What?
Definitely not my favorite princess by any means.
And I know it's not a popular opinion, because a lot of people don't understand the locations being enchanted, but I do love the Badanon.
I love it.
I love it.
I love Badanon in general.
I do too,
because that's one of my favorite parts.
I love Wreck-It Ralph.
But yeah, no, just Wreck-It Ralph and the Badanon cracks me up every time. So I don't mind that being an enchanted.
No, I don't either. And then
I was disappointed when it was the last Ruby to revealed, and it wasn't a Gaston, because that Gaston would have been a perfect enchanted card as well.
The Radigan's Palace was.
Yeah, well, yeah. So,
yeah. So that was the Ruby one that was announced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't totally set all these things.
It's a lot of cards we have to learn now.
Cards to relearn, and also, start of school this week. So I am on limited brain power.
No, I'm really excited. Prince Naveen, my guy, looks amazing. I definitely want him as well.
Oh, yeah. My husband is drooling over that card. And just the card gameplay, he definitely is going to be incorporating that into Steel Song deck. And I am not looking forward.
As someone who has picked his brain in the list last week about the deck he is now running for set 5. It is gross. I hate it. It should be banned. Daryl, if you're listening, bad.
He's behind. He hasn't even listened to our third.
How dare he?
I know.
Our third one is our best one.
I agree.
No, trying to think of any other cards that I think were like talk-worthy. I know there are so many, but there's only so many minutes in our podcast. We can't go through all 200 and 23 of them, 22 of them.
Yeah.
I have already been playing with a new deck and new colors, going back to Sapphire, getting rid of Steel and putting in Amber, which I never thought I would say I would play Amber. But
I think so before this last set.
It's insane. But so towards the end of set 4, I started really, I think talking about it last episode, getting frustrated with the competitiveness of the deck and having to like feel like I only can play a meta deck to enjoy being a competitor or even to place. Since then, I've learned a lot, and now I know how to make a non-meta deck work competitively. However, to always make me feel better, I like to make theme decks, because that's part of why I love Lorcana, is that it's Disney theme. I've always been a fan of the villains, Hades in particular, so I did make a Amber Sapphire deck these last couple of weeks that focus on Hades, King of Olympus, and a bunch of other Hades and bad guy cards. And it was fun. It's a little too gimmicky to run, I think, competitively. But playing against my husband and even playing against some of our friends, it's won a game or two here and there. So it's been great. I was really excited for all those, the Queen variations in Sapphire coming out. And I thought those would be perfect additions to my deck. And then something happened while building. And obviously I don't want to go over 60 cards. I have kind of just made the Queen deck. So it just focuses on the Queen. It does have the Queen Sensor Core as an item to use, which gives you 1 lore at the start of your turn if you have a Queen or Princess in play. And then you can tap it and use 2 ink to look at the top of your deck. And if it's a Queen card, you can play it or put it in your hand. So that's a really great deck. That's been working a lot. I've been playtesting it against Daryl actually this week, because he and I play Tabletop Simulator a lot. Which is a lot of fun. Alex has been playing with a Sapphire Amethyst deck, a Blurple deck, and that is a gross deck.
Yeah, no, we have a friend that plays, so I think he's excited for a lot. Jeez.
Absolutely. I think that not only just King Merlin, but also the Mufasa card will really work in an Amethyst deck. So he's really excited to playtest with that. And I kind of want to build other decks that I haven't really ever played. So I haven't played a ton of Amethyst Emerald. I think there's a lot of potential there for the balanced discard effects. And I think we'll start seeing that have a resurgence. So stay tuned. I will let you know if I find a way to make it work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I'm looking at the cards for this next set, I was super excited about the inclusion of Brother Bear.
I know.
Because that movie has such a feel-good feeling to it.
Absolutely.
And it was out of left field to me. I would not have guessed that would have been a product or a movie they would have chosen, at least early in the set. But they have kind of surprised us with some of the movies that they've chosen. And I'm hoping at some point that Tell Everybody I'm on My Way, that song ends up being the song. It's my absolute favorites.
It's
Disney.
Phil Collins can do no wrong when it comes to Disney.
Real. Like, so good. And so like I was just like super excited about that inclusion. Just I don't necessarily know if those cards are going to be played in any of the decks that I have as planned, but I just like the idea of more characters being available.
I like them using more deep cut entities too. I mean, I love Brother Bear as well. That is the Alaskan-born girly in me, though. If you're listening and somebody mentioned Brother Bear, and that's why you're putting it in Disney / Ravensburger, the Goofy movie, we're still waiting for that.
Yeah, yes, please.
Maybe set 6.
I loved that some of the inclusion of more of the Wreck-It Ralph characters.
Yeah.
Because that's also we were talking about Babylon, but I like all of the racers. I like all the unique characters that they have, and the colors on each of those cards are so vibrant.
Yeah.
And just the art from this set, I feel like, is so colorful. And I think that those racers really emphasize that big color, like set. Like if you look through the cards for this set, you just lay them out. They're so vibrant.
Yeah, it really shows the theme.
Yeah, it shows that theme. Like the racers are all candy themed, and then the rest of it's all about amusement. So I think it all kind of goes together. It's great. I will say some of the cards that were surprising, like the Rockin' Rooster card.
I love him.
Yeah, I think that he's going to make a lot of those singer decks, even if they're not a Steel Song, but like most of those singer decks, just really strong.
I know Alex thought at first it was the Rock-a-Doodle movie, which is, I think, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I was like, that's not.
So he kept calling him, the Elvis Rooster. And I'm like, no, honey. It's the little folklore guy from Robin Hood. I love him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny. I love Revive and the idea of Revive, that action card, because, I already use Hades in my Mufasa deck. And I think that adding that in might be a change I'm thinking about making. It does make the percentage chance of Mufasa failing increase, but I think it would be an interesting change to have more revival in that deck for myself.
Well, yeah, that's kind of that's what my Hades deck did. Was I had that, and then I had the Great Stone Dragon, which put my discard now into my Inkwell, and that worked really well. I really like the idea of being able to your cards from your discard. The ability to do that is just really strong, I think.
No, I think it's so great. I already have only 2 of that Hades in my deck because he is uninkable.
Yeah.
And that Healing Touch, or that Revive is also uninkable. So I do have to look at the balance of inkables and uninkables, because I also want to add in the new Gaston, because I think he would go well with my Mulan and my Beast, who are common as injured characters. And I also run my characters and other characters so that I can use the card draw from healers. But I could also use it to, play that Gaston. So he is gorgeous. And also I'm excited for how he would play. Like, I think he's just a decent card. It might be kind of like a Chernobog situation where you only have like 1 or 2 of them in a deck to make them work. But I think that it'd be fun to try him out. And I think it would work in my kind of off-meta Mufasa deck right now.
I really think set 5 is going to change the meta a lot, which I'm really excited about. I think we were getting a little stale. And obviously, too, with the death of Bucky coming up in less than a week, down with the squirrel. I think we're going to see a lot of newer decks. Obviously, those staples will still be there: Ruby, Amethyst, Steel Song, Ruby, Sapphire. But I think there's going to be so many new ways to play those color combinations.
Yeah, I think a lot of the color combinations that are strong are just going to stay strong.
Yeah.
But I do think we're going to see more variance in what cards people are playing and which directions each of those decks is going to go. I think that that's going to be the case for sure. I'm very interested because Emerald came out with a lot of cards in this set that add a lot more variety to their types of play. And I think that Sapphire also did that. So I'd be curious to see how those core Emerald and Sapphire players are going to adapt to those changes.
Yeah, definitely.
So I also am really excited because Pete has been one of my favorite characters since I was a kid. And I just, because he's kind of a villain. And
do you notice a theme here that we like the villains?
We're baddies and we love it. But I will say I love the variety of the Petes and the Pete cards and the art on the Pete cards.
The wrestler one is so funny.
So funny. I do want to develop like a Pete deck, and I know that there's some synergy there, and I don't know necessarily if I want it to be Ruby Emerald, which is a lot of where the Petes are at, or Emerald Steel. But it's probably just going to be a fun deck. I don't know how competitive it will actually end up being. I just like the idea of it. And so I think it's a good laugh. Just like the puppy deck, which made me laugh, as I never even made it, but I had the giggles when I was thinking about making it. It's just another fun themed deck I was thinking about. I will say one of my favorite cards that I will most likely never play is Glimmer versus Glimmer with the Hades and Hercules.
I know the art was so good.
So fantastic. And I was honestly shocked when that wasn't an enchanted card.
I know.
Because, again, it is
just beautiful.
Beautiful. And so maybe they just made it beautiful on its own because they're like, well, we're not making it enchanted, so we might as well make it the best version of the card it can be already. And so I love how there's like fireworks in the background and like they're gritting their teeth. You can just tell it's just like this big battle, but it's just an arm wrestle. So it's fantastic. And let's talk about the flavor text on all these cards. Like,
they're so good.
It's so good. And I love that it's like a story, and it's a story, but it's also like playful. Like, I love when Gaston is talking about how he wants to win the unicorn from one of the games, like just like he's like going to get the beast. We're going to get that unicorn. We're going to get instead of going to get the beast. And I just thought it was just made me smile, as Disney does. And there's so many cards that I was just so excited about.
I know, and it's hard to go through. Again, I think definitely we want to open the packs when they're out, and then maybe come here and talk more about it. Obviously, if maybe this is the set I pull my first enchanted, God willing.
Oh,
yeah. It'll be so much fun. I think one card what art card that I have beef with was this Olaf Enchanted. Because why is Marshmallow the star of this card when it's an Olaf card?
I know, he's so much larger than Olaf is on the card. Now, he's a larger character.
Yes.
Being like he is the main.
It feels like it's the main character, or it should have been like a group character thing, because I know the little snowball guys do appear in that Frozen short when Elsa has the cold, and I love that short, by the way. We watch it all the time. But it just feels weird. I do love the rest of the Frozen 2 cards, though. When you had Gale, and it's just like wind on their card. That's so good.
Oh, funny. Yeah, no, for sure. And so as someone who loves extended art, there are so many extended art cards in this set, and it makes me so happy. And now I'm like, oh, I have to like end up with all these art cards on my wall, connecting all of them together.
Yes. Also, Ravensburger, please, I know you're trying to do it in alphabetical order or whatever, but if it's an art card and extended, please put them together and not put something random in the middle of them. There is, I can't remember what the 2 extended art cards are, but there's a Robin Hood smack dab in the middle for this new set, and I'm so mad about it. My binder is going to look so off.
Yeah, no, they're not doing it in order anymore. They're just numbering.
They're just numbering them. Okay, then you do it. So the art continues. I know. I think they're like laughing in the like high chance.
Absolutely, they are. They're like, ha ha ha. These card players. Let's see how we can make them frustrated.
Going back to absolutely beautiful looking cards, the color on Royal Tantrum Enchanted.
For real.
Oh, I think that was maybe 1 or 2nd card Enchanted revealed to us. And it's just gorgeous. I don't know if it's the blues with the contrast of the yellow and the purples and the red. Also, just the fact that this big baby is crying on the pile of his money is so funny. I
love that his flip-flop is like flying off. It looks like he's actively having that tantrum. It's really funny.
And the card of him, I can't remember what color it is, where he's holding a staff, but it's a thumb.
Yeah, so good. I will say I love the Scar Enchanted, how that looks. I love the green and so beautiful. And then the Donald Duck, which was like the first
it was
reveal. I still love that.
It's a great one.
And the King Arthur, he looks really awesome.
He does look awesome. No, it's all around. I'm so excited for this new set to come out. If we can get maybe into what we think the lore is going to be for after the celebration, because we've had a few interesting cards come out, like this hypnotic deduction where our poor guy Basil is like trying to steal something.
Yeah, he's definitely under influence of something. His eyeballs are glowing.
And there's a card that kind of goes with it, the hypnotic strength. That's the staff of Jafar, making that like hypnos. So
yeah, so I wonder who the next big bad is going to be.
Well, I kind of have been throwing around, like, I wonder in the chaos if it's going to be a variety of villains. Because I know
Lots of
side villainy happening, because last set we had the Hades kind of talk about how while Ursula's doing her thing, he can kind of make his move. This set with who is it, the Queen, she's seen kind of sitting with her glimmers and other people. I'm very excited.
For sure. I love the backstory behind this. Like,
they did it so well.
So great. And, you know, being so invested in this, I can't wait to see where the story's going to go. I'm curious to know if maybe they'll put out like a comic book or like some story,
like a graphic novel
that goes with it at some point.
I hope so. I think you can tell the detail and the hard work that has gone into these cards, into the Lorcana universe. I don't play a ton of other TCGs, but I haven't seen this much detail and this much attention to a backstory as Lorcana, and I think it's absolutely amazing. Keep it up. I can't wait to dive more into it. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I can't. We can just keep talking about cards for forever. I mean,
I know
it is our base thing to do, but I kind of just want to talk about like what's coming next. Like besides deck building and besides thinking about the new cards and how they're going to mesh in with the current meta is going on. Like, how have you been enjoying this game otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, I've loved it. They just released that Lorcana Gateway game. I already know how to play it, but we bought it for our oldest, who's 6 years old, almost 7. And we cracked it open last week, and it was amazing to see her. I didn't think she was actually going to be able to pick up the game, and I would have to help her a lot. Granted, she still needs help reading some of the cards, but it's so cool. She picked it up really fast on what the mechanics do and how to play it. They do a really great job with, like, you have to complete these objectives in game 1 or in the first couple of games before you can reveal they call it the next gate, which then they reveal a new, like, mechanic. So the first one was basically just character cards. And then we're on to song cards and how you can sing with characters with the songs. She loves it that it comes with like little players that she moves and she can count the lore. We've been obviously telling her like, okay, so if you're going to fight me with 3 and I have 2 health, trying to help her with her math because I'm a mom and I have to incorporate a little bit of learning into it. I know, right? But no, she has been dying to play Lorcana, and we've been kind of hesitant because of the whole reading barrier thing. But honestly, with the vanilla cards, she doesn't need to read them because she knows the characters. So she knows that this is Elsa, this is Minnie Mouse. And she has absolutely loved it. So I really love that they put that out for new players. People who are new to TCGs, I think, will love it. Kids will love it as they're learning how to play the game.
Well, and then you don't necessarily have to buy boosters.
No.
Because it's already...
It gives you it gives you 2 decks, and then plus the songs, and then I think it goes into locations and actions and items. So it gives them all these cards to kind of build their own deck with, because they don't have to necessarily stick, once they learn it and go through all the gates, stick with the one deck.
I like that. I like that it's building upon it. That's going to be really good for players and families.
And families too, yeah, definitely. So no, that was a really cool find. I know it wasn't super hyped up or talked about. It dropped, I want to say, the last week, maybe the second to last week in July. You can find it easily available at Target or Walmart.
Yeah.
I think it's like $25. It's so, like, pick it up. Even if you're like, don't have anybody to teach you, pick it up, because it's just kind of a cool concept to go through.
Yeah. And it'd be good, like, if you want to ever get somebody into Lorcana.
Yeah.
It'd be a good way to start. Even better than even just a starter deck.
I think so, because the starter deck, you still kind of have to explain so many mechanics to them depending on what the starter deck is.
Well, it probably depends on who you're trying.
Yeah.
Like, I do still feel like a lot of those starter decks are probably better decks than what are in that gateway game, but
I was impressed. I was really impressed. I actually like these decks better than any of the starter decks I've ever picked up. So, and we always buy the starter decks because I like having them.
Yeah, no, I like the idea of the starter decks.
So, no, I love the Gateway. What else is coming up? I think we're going to see a lot when Gen Con is currently right now, and then D23 is next week. So I'm really excited because I think I've heard rumblings that something is going to be revealed at D23. And even if it's not, they usually have promos or, things that they offer the people who attend. They did announce that D23 set pack.
Yeah,
with that Disney. Yeah, and that was really cool. That's almost, do we just drive the 6 hours to California to pick that up?
Probably not, but the idea is...
Yeah, the idea is cool.
I definitely was like, ooh, road trip? But we'd already just had our road trip to...
Yeah.
But that was a long road trip, even though it was fun, and I ended up seeing family and friends from Fort Worth and from the Texas area. We drove there and back from Phoenix, and so it was a whole week of travel, and so it was definitely exhausting.
Yeah.
Side of.
Well, it's the age-old saying is you kind of need a vacation from your vacation.
Yeah, and then as we came back from vacation, straight back to work, setting up a classroom and
fun,
doing all the fun things that comes with being a teacher. So I'm looking forward to the next few weeks of just enjoying new cards, new decks, and just leaning into my love of Lorcana again this last month. Although it's been super fun.
It's been exhausting.
Like a whole month of set championships and then also the DLC. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to just come back to my basic level Lorcana, back to local leagues and things like that. And just have fun with the card game.
Yeah, I think August will be a little quieter for us as far as maybe just going to leagues and maybe a few tournaments maybe here and there. Because I know in September we'll probably want to ramp back up again and practice draft and practice sealed. And
before we go to Vegas,
if any of you are going to Vegas, we are passing out friendship bracelets because we have gotten together with other people in the community who want to do that. And it's such a great way to break the ice with somebody. Oh, you have a bracelet, I have a bracelet, let's trade.
Yeah.
And not that Disney people need a lot of help in that area. I feel like we're all pretty friendly and
absolutely,
we're Disney nerds. Let's go Disney nerd together.
Yes. And so I love the idea of the friendship bracelets. I'm a big Swiftie. And so
yes,
I will make a friendship bracelet per anything. But I'm excited about doing it with Disney Lorcana.
Yeah, I've already made 6 and I'm excited. I just do it, 1 or 2 a night and it's a lot of fun. So if you're going to Vegas, please give us a shout out on Twitter, which is at the Lorcana Muses Pod, or on Instagram, which is the Lorcana Muses Podcast, or email us at the Lorcana Muses Podcast @gmail.com.
Yes, we love to hear from you. We've already had a few people reach out.
Yeah.
And both from Facebook groups and also just locally after listening and letting us know things that they love about our podcast, things that they'd love to see. And we'd love to hear more feedback from you.
Yeah. We have already had a great flood of feedback. Next week, we're going to have Alina join us, Brittany's sister-in-law, who's the judge. She's really excited to come on and talk to you guys. We're getting ready to have maybe a father and son come on and talk about their experience about playing Lorcana together, and just get a kid's perspective of playing Lorcana, because this is a family podcast and we want to hear from the kids too. So it's just a fun game to enjoy by all.
Absolutely. And I love the wide variety of things that we can do with this game.
Yeah.
So we love to hear you, and we hope that you enjoyed latest episode.
Yes. And happy questing.
Happy quest.
Bye.